English learners. Welcome back to another podcast here at English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we have a fun dialogue.
That's right. Well, maybe the language in this lesson you won't use every day, but it's fun, it's interesting, and it's a little bit on the lighter side.
That's right. Today we're going to be looking at baby talk. So we're going to see some of these words that aren't really words. They're not real words that you can find in the dictionary, but native English speakers use them when they're talking to little babies.
Yeah, in many languages, there's a rule for how you make baby talk words, right?
Right.
But in English, we don't have really clear rules about how you make a word a baby word. So we're going to teach you a few of these baby words.
Exactly. So before we listen to the dialogue, why don't we take a look at vocabulary preview?
Vocabulary preview.
Okay, we have two words here we're going to hear in the dialogue. And the first one is diaper.
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 Okay, so a diaper. A baby uses a diaper.
That's right. It's a piece of cloth or material that you put around the baby so that it can go to the bathroom and not make a mess.
Okay, a diaper. Mm-hmm. Now, we also have another word that we commonly use in the English language. It's nana.
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 So Nana is the name we call a grandmother.
Right, so an informal name, just like in Spanish, we would say something like abue or abuelita.
Or in Italian, you might say oma. This is another way that we can call grandma or granny. Nana.
Okay, so Nana. Mm-hmm. Why don't we listen to the dialogue for the first time? Let's see how these new parents are talking to their little baby using baby talk.
Honey, the baby's up again.
It's your turn. I went last night.
Fine. Hello, little baby. Why are you crying, little baby? Oh, I see. You made a doo-doo.
What's going on, hun? Why is the baby crying?
The little baby made a doo-doo.
What a good boy. Let's get this icky diaper off you.
Looky what I have here. Mickey Mouse jammies. Oopsie daisy. Did the little baby just tinkle all over Daddy?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. You just made a wee-wee all over Daddy.
Hold still while I change his yucky diaper.
What's going on in here?
Oh, look, it's Nana. Say hi to Nana.
Oh, he's so adorable. I could just eat him up. Okay, say bye to Nana. Time to go Betty bye.
Okay, well, that was pretty cute, wasn't it?
A cute dialogue. The baby seemed to be cute, and well, everyone's excited about the new baby.
Mm-hmm, but they use some really interesting little words that are pretty unfamiliar. So let's look at them now in Language Takeaway.
All right, so as we mentioned before, these words aren't actually words. You won't find them in the dictionary.
Right, but you'll hear them commonly when people are talking to babies, and you might see them in a movie or something like that. So why don't we get started with the first one?
All right, the first word that may seem a little bit strange, the father said, hello, whittle baby.
Whittle baby.
Okay, whittle.
So whittle is just a baby talk way of saying little.
Little, that's right. Now, the father saw that the baby was crying because he made a doo-doo.
The baby made the doo-doo, not the father.
Right, the baby made a doo-doo.
Mm-hmm, a doo-doo.
Okay, so basically a doo-doo is when the baby poos or poops in the diaper.
Okay, so, sometimes you go to the bathroom and it might take a little bit longer.
Exactly.
That's because of the doo-doo.
The doo-doo. Mm-hmm. All right, the actual technical or maybe the proper English word for this would be defecate.
Okay, so make a doo-doo.
All right, now our third words are interesting because he said icky diaper.
That's right, an icky diaper.
And then he also said yucky.
So we've got two words here that mean the same thing, icky and yucky.
And basically means disgusting.
Right, something that's really, really not nice.
So you would say icky or yucky.
Now, these words have other similar words. We might recognize ick or yuck.
Right, so you would use ick or yuck if something is disgusting, but when you're kind of talking to a baby, you would say icky, yucky,
Yes,
smelly.
the adjective. Now, our next word, the father said he has some Mickey Mouse jammies.
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 Okay, so what are jammies?
Well, the word jammies is short for pajamas.
Okay, pajamas, so the clothes that you put on when you go to sleep.
Jammies.
Jammies. All right, and now for our last two words, they mean the same thing as well. The little baby tinkled all over daddy.
So to tinkle.
And then his mom said a wee wee all over daddy.
You made a wee wee.
Okay, so tinkle and wee wee.
Basically, also going to the bathroom, but this time to pee.
To pee, exactly. To urinate. Wee wee.
So the verb to tinkle and the noun a wee wee.
Very good. So these are the words that we have for you today in language takeaway. As you can see, they're kind of cute and very common when you're talking to babies, and you have to be a little bit nicer.
All right, so why don't we listen to the dialogue another time, a little bit slower, and you'll catch these words a little bit easier.
Honey, the baby's up again.
It's your turn. I went last night.
Fine. Hello, little baby. Why are you crying, little baby? Oh, I see. You made a doo-doo.
What's going on, hun? Why is the baby crying?
The little baby made a doo-doo.
What a good boy. Let's get this icky diaper off you.
Looky what I have here. Mickey Mouse jammies. Oopsie daisy. Did the little baby just tinkle all over daddy?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. You just made a wee-wee all over daddy.
Hold still while I change this yucky diaper.
What's going on in here?
Oh, look, it's Nana. Say hi to Nana.
Oh, he's so adorable. I could just eat him up. Okay, say bye to Nana. Time to go Betty bye.
All right, so now that we've seen those great words, let's take a look at two phrases that we're going to look at now in Fluency Builder.
Fluency builder.
So the mother didn't really want to get up and look after the baby. She said, it's your turn.
It's your turn.
It's your turn.
So when she says it's your turn,
That means you should do it now.
right, so she's basically saying now you have to do it. I did it last time, so now you have to do it. It's your turn.
That's right. It's your turn. And well, the Nana, the grandmother, she was really, of course, she really loves this little baby. And she said, I could just eat him up.
I could just eat him up.
I could just eat him up.
Now, does she want to really eat him?
No, of course. Of course not.
So what does she mean by this?
This is a phrase we often use with very cute things. It just means, oh my God, he's so cute.
Okay, he's so cute that I wish I could just hug him and kiss him a lot.
Yes, we might use this with babies or maybe with puppies. I could just eat him up.
All right. So great two phrases that we've just taken a look at. Let's go back to our dialogue for the last time, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about these babies.
Honey, the baby's up again.
It's your turn. I went last night.
Fine. Hello, little baby. Why are you crying, little baby? Oh, I see. You made a doo-doo.
What's going on, hun? Why is the baby crying?
The little baby made a doo-doo.
What What a good boy. Let's get this icky diaper off you.
Looky what I have here. Mickey Mouse jammies. Oopsie daisy. Did the widow baby just tinkle all over Daddy?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. You just made a wee-wee all over Daddy.
Hold still while I change his yucky diaper.
What's going on in here?
Oh, look, it's Nana. Say hi to Nana.
Oh, he's so adorable. I could just eat him up. Okay, say bye to Nana. Time to go Betty bye.
Okay, so they are obviously new parents. They've just had a baby, so they're excited about him waking up, and they're all excited about the baby and how he wakes up and
Yep.
everything. But an interesting thing, the baby was sleeping in another room.
In English-speaking countries, people have sort of two different opinions about how you should sleep with your baby. You know, some people want to have the baby in the bed with them, right? But some people think, no, the baby should definitely sleep in its own room.
Okay, in another room in a crib.
Yeah.
Right, I think this is a very important issue because many people consider that it's a good thing for the baby to sleep with the parents and it feels safe and you can make sure the baby's okay.
And it's easier for, you know, waking up to feed the baby and change its diaper.
Exactly. And well, if the baby is sleeping with its parents, it might not wake up as much.
But other people think if you let the baby sleep with the parents, the baby will become kind of spoiled and not a very good baby.
Right, it might become too dependent on the parents. And for example, if you ever want to go out or leave the baby with a babysitter, or when the baby starts maybe preschool or kindergarten, it might not be really independent. So why don't you tell us what you think? Do you think it's a good idea to allow a baby to sleep with you, or should it sleep in its own room?
Hi, welcome. Are you ready to listen to our story? It all started on a quiet Sunday morning in a cozy little house just outside the city. The air smelled like toast and coffee, and the sun was slipping through the curtains when James, a new father, found himself wide awake not because he wanted to be, but because of a tiny, but very loud, human being. Yes, his newborn son, Oliver, was crying again. Loudly, James yawned and rolled over in bed. "It's your turn," whispered his wife, Mia, without even opening her eyes. Those 3 words, "it's your turn," meant everything to new parents. It's one of those simple English phrases that carries a whole lot of meaning. When someone says it's your turn, they're saying, now it's your responsibility. I did it last time. It's a phrase we use in all kinds of situations. Games, work, sharing chores, especially with babies. So James got up, stumbled over to the crib, and tried to sound cheerful. "Hey there, little guy. What's up? Huh, you feeling cranky?" he asked in a soft, playful voice. Then he noticed it, a smell, a very strong smell. He laughed and said in a sing-song voice, "Oh no, did someone make a doo-doo?" Doo-doo is one of those silly words adults use when talking to babies. It means poop, but it sounds cuter and softer. It's part of what we call baby talk, a style of speaking where adults change normal words to sound simpler, gentler, and funnier. It's not formal English. You won't find doo-doo in a grammar book, but you will definitely hear it in real life when someone's changing a diaper. Speaking of diapers, James reached down and picked up Oliver. "Okay, let's get that icky diaper off you," he said. Icky is another baby talk word. It means something is gross, dirty, or disgusting. You might hear a child say, "Ooh, that's icky." Adults use it when they want to sound playful or silly, especially with kids. As James opened the diaper, he chuckled. "Whoa, you've been busy, huh?" He grabbed some wipes, cleaned the baby gently, and tossed the diaper away. "There you go, fresh as a daisy." He smiled. "Let's put on your jammies." Now, jammies is short for pajamas. Again, it's cuter, easier to say, and something many parents say at bedtime or after a bath. Time to get your jammies on is a phrase children hear often as part of their bedtime routine. James pulled out a tiny blue onesie with cartoon bears on it. Look at these jammies. Don't you look like a superstar? As he was about to zip it up, he suddenly felt something warm on his shirt. Oh no, tinkle alert, he cried, holding Oliver up. Tinkle is another funny word. It means to urinate, to pee. Like wee-wee, it's a gentle, non-serious word used with children. Adults don't usually say, "I need to tinkle," unless they're joking. James looked down at his shirt and sighed, "Wee-wee all over, Daddy." "Great. Thanks, buddy." He couldn't help but laugh. Even though he was tired and smelly and his shirt was wet, there was something sweet about these messy, exhausting moments. They reminded him of how deeply he loved this tiny person who didn't know how to talk yet, but already knew how to make a big impact. This is what life looks like with a new baby. Chaotic, funny, messy, and filled with strange little words that make you smile. And whether you're a parent or not, understanding this kind of English baby talk helps you connect more deeply with native speakers, with culture, and with some of life's most human moments. James was standing in the kitchen now, holding Oliver in one arm and sipping lukewarm coffee with the other hand. The morning had officially begun, and so had the parade of baby sounds, cooing, hiccups, and the occasional unpredictable giggle. Oliver's eyes sparkled as he looked up at his dad. James smiled. "Hey, little man, what's that face for? Huh? Are you trying to make another doo-doo?" Suddenly, Oliver made a strange little grunt and a face that every parent knows too well. James chuckled. "Oh, I know that face. That's a doo-doo face. If you're learning English, phrases like oh are great to know. Oh is an informal sound people make when something goes wrong, especially something small, like dropping a cup or seeing a baby about to poop again. It's not a real word, but native speakers use it constantly in everyday situations. Just then, Mia walked into the kitchen with her hair tied up and slippers on her feet. "Morning," she said grudgingly. Then she saw James holding Oliver at arm's length. "Oh no," she laughed. "Did he tinkle again?" "Nope. This time, it's definitely a doo-doo, and it smells extra yucky." "Nope. This time, it's definitely a doo-doo, and it smells extra yucky." Yucky is another word similar to icky, both mean gross, disgusting, or unpleasant. But yucky is often used with food or smells, especially around kids. Parents might say, "Don't eat that, it's yucky," or "That diaper smells yucky." Mia came closer and took Oliver gently. "Let me take care of this one." "I think you've earned a break, Daddy." James leaned back against the counter and grinned. "Thank you. I might actually get to finish this cup of coffee before it turns into ice." Mia held Oliver in front of her and said in a soft, playful voice, "Who's my little stinker? Did you make a big doo-doo in your diaper?" "Yes, you did?" Using exaggerated baby talk like that might seem silly, but it plays a real role in early communication. It helps babies learn the sounds and rhythm of language. Words like stinker, boo-boo, or binky aren't formal English, but they're part of the vocabulary babies grow up hearing. "Okay, let's get that diaper changed," Mia said. She laid Oliver down on the changing table and began the ritual of wipes, powder, and gentle humming. She looked at Oliver's face and smiled. "You're wide awake now, huh? No more Betty Bye for you. Now here's a good one. Betty Bye. It's a sweet, soft way of saying bedtime or go to sleep. Parents say things like, 'Time for Betty Bye,' to make bedtime sound more fun and less like a rule. Learning expressions like this helps English learners understand how people speak when they're trying to comfort or amuse a child. As Mia cleaned Oliver, she continued chatting in a sing-song voice. Look at you, big boy, making wee-wee and doo-doo like a champ. Soon you'll be using the potty. The word potty is another baby talk word. It means toilet, but in a soft, less intimidating way. Parents use it when they start teaching their children how to stop using diapers and go to the bathroom like grown-ups. James peeked in and said, we're not really teaching him grammar or anything, but I think he's learning more English than we realize. Mia laughed. He probably knows doo-doo, tinkle, and yucky better than his own name. They both smiled, and in that small, sleepy kitchen, surrounded by diapers and coffee cups, they were building a little world of words, playful, real, and full of love. A world where even silly phrases carried meaning, comfort, and connection. Later that day, after a long walk in the park and a short but dramatic car ride filled with baby cries and dropped pacifiers, James and Mia finally settled back home. Oliver had drifted off to sleep in his stroller, but James knew it wouldn't last long. Mia placed a soft blanket over the baby and whispered, "He's so adorable, I could just eat him up." That phrase, "I could just eat him up," sounds strange at first, right? But in English, it's an expression used when someone or something is unbelievably cute or lovable. It doesn't mean you're actually going to eat them, of course. It means you're overwhelmed by how sweet they are. Parents say this all the time about their babies. People also use it when they see puppies, kittens, or even delicious desserts. James smiled at the sleeping baby. He looks like a little angel. Hard to believe that 2 hours ago he peed on me ... again. Just then, they heard a quiet knock at the door. It creaked open and in walked James's mother, Oliver's grandmother. She walked in slowly, carrying a soft toy and a warm smile. "Hey, look who's here," Mia whispered. "It's Nana." Nana is a common and affectionate name for grandmother in English-speaking countries. It's short, sweet, and easier for little ones to say than grandmother. Some families use grandma, granny, nana, or even Mimi. The name usually depends on family tradition or regional culture. Nana tiptoed over to the stroller, looked at Oliver, and whispered, "Oh my goodness, he's so precious. That little button nose, I could kiss it 100 times. Mia grinned. He's had quite the day. He's already been through to doo-doos, 1 tinkle, and a minor outfit change. Nana laughed. Sounds like he's keeping you too busy. She reached out gently and gave Oliver a light pat on the tummy. I remember when James was a baby. He loved his binky so much, he wouldn't go to sleep without it. A binky is another baby word for pacifier. Some people say soother or dummy, but binky is playful and common in American English. Parents might say, "Where's your binky?" or "Don't forget to pack his binky." It's another great example of how English changes in different situations, especially when speaking to children. Oliver stirred slightly and made a tiny squeak, but didn't wake up. Everyone held their breath. Then, peace again. Nana lowered her voice. "You're doing great, both of you. I know it's exhausting, but these little moments, you'll remember them forever." James nodded, still wearing his spit-up stained t-shirt like a badge of honor. "We're figuring it out 1 diaper at a time. And that's something worth learning in English, to not just vocabulary or grammar rules, but the way real people talk during real-life experiences. How we express affection, how we deal with stress, how we find humor in chaos. From words like Betty Bye to phrases like eat him up or hold still, these little linguistic gimps help you sound more natural and connect more deeply with English speakers. And if you're around children or just want to understand native speakers better, baby talk is actually a window into something much bigger: how language adapts to emotion, situation, and love. As Oliver let out a sleepy sigh and snuggled deeper into his blanket, the room fell into a rare moment of quiet. No crying, no messes, just warmth and the silent joy of being together. That evening, as the sky turned a soft orange and the house dimmed into calm shadows, James sat on the couch, rocking Oliver gently in his arms. The baby was wide-eyed now, not sleepy at all despite every effort his parents had made to tire him out. His little hands flailed in the air, and he let out a cheerful squeal. James looked down at him and smiled. "You're not tired at all, are you?" "No Betty Bye for you just yet." Ha! He chuckled to himself. Betty Bye had become part of their daily vocabulary. A word that sounded almost magical when spoken softly at night. In baby talk, it's used to mean sleep or bedtime. Parents use it because it feels soothing, gentle, perfect for ending a busy day. Mia came over, holding a small soft bottle filled with warm milk. "Here's your baba," she said, offering it to Oliver. Baba, another adorable example of baby English. It's a common baby word for bottle, especially a baby's milk bottle. You'll hear parents say, "Do you want your baba?" Or "Drink your baba before bed." Simple, loving, and part of the daily rhythm of life with a little one. Oliver eagerly grabbed the bottle with his tiny hands and started drinking. James whispered, "That's it, buddy. Drink up, and maybe, just maybe, you'll feel sleepy." While Oliver drank his milk, James leaned back and reflected. It amazed him how many new words had entered their lives. Not just for Oliver's sake, but because baby talk was becoming part of their family language. Words like tinkle, icky, binky, and boo-boo, these weren't just baby sounds. They were tools of love, comfort, and laughter. Mia sat beside him, flipping through a parenting book. "You know," she said, "I read today that the way we talk to babies, the sing-song voice, the silly words, it actually helps them learn language faster." James nodded. "Yeah, I read that too. It's called infant-directed speech. That high-pitched, exaggerated tone, it's not just cute, it's how their brains pick up on the rhythm of language. That's a useful English tip for learners too. Changing your voice, using rhythm, repeating sounds, all of that makes it easier to learn and remember vocabulary. Just like babies, adult learners benefit from hearing language in real, emotional, and meaningful situations." Suddenly, Oliver let out a tiny hiccup and dropped his bottle. Milk spilled onto his pajamas as jammies. "Oh no!" "Oopsie daisy," Mia said, quickly grabbing a towel. "That's another fun one. Oopsie daisy. It's a playful expression people use when someone makes a little mistake, especially a child. If a kid drops their toy or spills juice, you might say, oopsie daisy. It's friendly and lighthearted, and it makes the mistake feel less serious. James dabbed at Oliver's shirt. "This is why we can't have nice things," he joked. Oliver giggled, clearly enjoying the attention. Mia grinned. "He thinks it's funny. Great. That means he'll do it again." James smiled and looked down at the milk-drenched jammies. "All right, time for another outfit. Maybe number for today." He picked up Oliver carefully and headed to the changing table. "Let's get you into your dinosaur jammies this time. Huh, roar. Jammies, Baba, Betty Bye, Oopsie Daisy, all part of the melody of their new life. And for learners of English, these words might seem childish, but they teach something powerful. How? English wraps around emotion. It's not just about correct grammar. It's about warmth, rhythm, playfulness. As James slipped the fresh pajamas over Oliver's arms, he whispered, "There we go, little champ. All set for dreamland. Maybe this time you'll stay asleep for more than an hour." Oliver yawned, stretched, and nestled into his dad's chest. The house grew quieter, and in that soft stillness, a new parent found poetry in the most unexpected language, a mix of nonsense, words, and pure love. Later that night, the house was finally quiet, at least for a few minutes. The soft hum of the baby monitor was the only sound in the living room. James and Mia were curled up on the couch, staring blankly at a paused TV show. Neither of them had the energy to press play. I feel like I'm running on 3 hours of sleep and a slice of cold pizza, James muttered. Mia laughed quietly. You're lucky. I think I just had half a banana and a bite of Oliver's mashed carrots. Life with a newborn was full of unexpected routines and strange priorities. Meals became snacks, naps were victories, and conversations were interrupted by cries, coos, and bodily functions. Just then, through the baby monitor, came a familiar sound. A whimper, a little sniffle, then a tiny cough. James looked over. Oh no, he's waking up again. Mia groaned and reached for the remote. Please, let it just be a false alarm, but the soft cry grew louder. James stood up and smiled weakly. Your turn, he said. Nope, Mia replied, pointing at herself. I did the last one. Remember, the 2 a.m. diaper disaster. James gave her a look of exaggerated defeat. Fine, you win. I'm on it. That phrase, your tourney, had become their favorite form of negotiation. It's one of those real-life English expressions that shows up in everyday tasks, chores, games, responsibilities. You can use it to share tasks or shift responsibility in a fair way. Simple, but very useful. He crept into Oliver's room, whispering as he approached the crib. Hey there, little guy, having some trouble getting back to Betty Bye. Oliver looked up at him with big, round eyes, clearly wide awake now. His pacifier had fallen out, and his blanket was kicked off. James gently picked him up. It's okay, buddy. You didn't make a boo-boo, did you? Now, boo-boo is a classic piece of baby talk. It means a small injury like a scrape, bump, or bruise. Parents often ask, did you get a boo-boo? Or say, let me kiss your boo-boo. It's not serious, just a tender way of asking if the child is hurt. James checked his little feet and arms. No boo-boos. Just a baby who didn't feel like sleeping. He sat in the rocking chair, bouncing Oliver gently. You just want some cuddle time, huh? As Oliver snuggled close, James felt a warmth in his chest. These quiet moments, even in the middle of exhaustion, were filled with something powerful. Not just love, but language, a soft kind of language that wasn't taught in textbooks. Mia entered the room quietly with a fresh pacifier. Here's his binky, she whispered, handing it to James. Thanks, James said as he popped it gently into Oliver's mouth. The baby sighed and relaxed. A binky, as they'd learned early on, was more than just a pacifier. It was a lifeline, a magical little object that could bring peace in seconds. Mia leaned over and kissed Oliver's forehead. Hold still, sweetie, she whispered as she tucked the blanket around him. Hold still, another everyday phrase that parents say all the time. Whether changing a diaper or dressing a squirmy toddler, the words hold still become a regular part of life. It's simple. It means don't move, very practical and very real. James stood up slowly and laid Oliver back in his crib. The baby wriggled once, then drifted into soft breathing. They both tiptoed out of the room, speaking in hushed tones like secret agents. In the hallway, James whispered, I think that was a successful mission. Mia smiled until the next one. And as they returned to the couch, sleep-deprived but somehow content, they realized something important. Every diaper, every midnight whisper, every silly baby word, they were learning a whole new kind of English. Not the kind from books, but the kind spoken with love, patience, and sleepy smiles. The next morning, sunlight streamed in through the kitchen window, and James was already halfway through his second cup of coffee before Oliver's first cry of the day. That alone felt like a small victory. Mia peeked into the nursery and called out, he's up. And he looked suspiciously ... like he made a doo-doo. James set down his mug and walked over with a mock serious expression. Did the little man make a stinky again? Let me check that icky diaper. There it was again, icky, a word they now used at least 10 times a day. Icky and yucky had become their way of describing anything gross: diapers, spilled milk, drool-covered toys, you name it. For English learners, these words might sound silly, but they're powerful. They're how adults communicate gently with kids, or even jokingly with each other. He leaned over Oliver and wrinkled his nose dramatically. Yup, that's definitely icky. As he picked up Oliver and laid him on the changing mat, he noticed something new. Well, look at this little boo-boo on your knee. Where did you get that? Huh. It was a small, harmless red mark, probably from kicking his toys too hard. Still, James gently kissed the spot and said, "There, Daddy made it better." Boo-boo is the kind of word you'll hear from almost every parent. Whether it's a scraped knee or a bumped head, kids don't say injury or bruise, they say boo-boo. And adults match that language because it sounds comforting. So instead of "you have a small abrasion," it's "aw, poor thing, you've got a boo-boo." Just then, Mia walked in holding a warm bottle. "Here's your baba, sweetie," she cooed to Oliver, who instantly reached for it with eager hands. James watched as the baby sucked on the bottle peacefully. "Baba," he repeated softly, "baba for the baby." He looked at Mia. "It's funny, isn't it? We've basically created our own secret baby language. I don't think I've said the word diaper in a week. I just say yucky or icky." Mia nodded. "And I don't say pacifier anymore. It's always binky now." That's another lesson for English learners: language adapts to context. You don't always need to use the official words. Native speakers often switch to softer or cuter terms when the situation calls for it. It's part of speaking naturally and understanding when formal isn't necessary. Oliver paused in the middle of drinking and let out a loud, sudden burp. James laughed. "Well done, sir. You've mastered the art of the post-baba burp." Then something unexpected happened. Oliver gave James a big, wet smile, followed immediately by a long, warm tinkle right through the fresh diaper. James jumped up, holding the baby at arm's length. "Okay, emergency. That's not supposed to happen through the jammies." Mia burst out laughing. "He just did a wee-wee attack. I told you those dinosaur jammies are cursed." Wee-wee is another gentle term, meaning urine or the act of urinating. Just like tinkle, it's non-threatening and easy for children to understand. Adults often say it playfully. "Did you make a wee-wee?" Or "Let's go wee-wee before we leave." James rushed to change Oliver again. "All right, little man. That's 3 outfit changes today, and it's not even 10 a.m. He held Oliver up to his face. "But you're lucky you're cute. You're so adorable ... I could just eat you up." Mia watched them and smiled. "You know, we joke a lot, but I think he really listens. All this silly talk, it's helping him grow." And she was right. Babies absorb the rhythm of speech long before they speak. The playful tones, exaggerated expressions, the repetition of words like baba, boo-boo, and wee-wee, they're the building blocks of language. For anyone learning English, there's a valuable lesson here. Don't underestimate the power of simple, affectionate language. It may not be in your grammar book, but it's everywhere in real life. James kissed the top of Oliver's head. "Okay, stinker, clean, fed, and smiling. That's a win, and in that moment, messy, funny, and full of love another day in the baby dictionary had been written. The afternoon sun cast a golden glow over the nursery floor where toys lay scattered, colorful blocks, stuffed animals, and a musical toy piano that Oliver had decided was best used for banging, not playing. James sat cross-legged on the carpet, holding a bright green plastic spoon and a bowl of mashed sweet potatoes. "Okay, big guy," he said, holding up the spoon like a magician performing a trick. "It's din-din time." Din-din, a classic example of baby talk used in many English-speaking homes? It's a cute and casual way to say dinner or meal. parents often say, "Let's have your din-din," or "time for din-din." It makes mealtime sound fun and inviting, especially for little ears just starting to understand language. Oliver squealed and opened his mouth wide as the spoon flew toward him. James made airplane noises, something he swore he'd never do until it actually worked. One bite for Mommy, one bite for Daddy, and one bite for Mickey Mouse, James said, sneaking spoonfuls into the giggling baby's mouth. Mia leaned on the doorway, smiling. That's some fine flying spoon technique. And only 2/3 of the food is on his face. James grinned. Not bad for a rookie. Suddenly, Oliver flung his hands in the air and smacked the spoon right out of James's hand. It landed on the floor with a splat, sending orange puree across the rug. "Oops," James shouted, holding up his hands. Oopsie daisy. That phrase again, oopsie daisy. A friendly way of reacting to a small accident. It's not only useful with kids. Adults sometimes use it when talking to pets, in light conversation, or even jokingly with friends. If you bump into someone or drop your pen, you might say, "Oops," or "oopsie daisy," a phrase that turns a mistake into something almost charming. Mia came over with a damp cloth. "Don't worry, Daddy. That rug has seen worse." Oliver, meanwhile, clapped his hands happily, not understanding the chaos he'd created. James wiped the baby's chin. "All right, Mr. Messy, let's clean you up before you get this all over your jammies." He carried Oliver to the sink, gently splashing warm water onto his tiny hands and cheeks. Oliver giggled with every splash, his eyes bright and playful. "You're something else," James whispered, "even when you're covered in sweet potatoes." After drying him off and slipping on a fresh shirt, James placed Oliver back in the playpen with a few soft toys. One of them, a floppy bear, had a big red bow and a name tag that read Snuggles. Oliver immediately hugged it tightly. "Look at you, holding your bear like a big boy," Mia said. "Yup," James added. "No boo-boos, no wee-wees, no doo-doos." For now, that was the cycle's sweet moments between the messes. And through it all, a stream of playful words flowed constantly, forming a language that felt more like music than grammar. Mia sat down beside James on the floor. "You know what amazes me? He reacts to certain words already. Like when you say baba or potty, he actually looks around." "That's true," James nodded. "It's like we're planting little English seeds in his brain, and it's not just for babies. For learners of English, words like din-din, boo-boo, oopsie-daisy, or jammies help you understand the way people soften language. These words make English feel more human, more affectionate, more alive." Mia picked up a storybook and opened it. "Let's read something before nap time." He won't understand every word yet, but it's all sinking in. James watched as Oliver snuggled into Mia's lap, his eyes already starting to flutter. "Yeah," he whispered, "he's getting there, one goofy word at a time." And with a soft voice and a rhythm as warm as the afternoon light, Mia began to read, adding another layer to the language that surrounded their baby every day, a language of stories, sounds, and love. The next day began much like the others early. Before the sun had even risen, James was already halfway through changing another diaper. He was getting faster now, more confident. He could do it in the dark, one eye open, with a pacifier in his mouth like a soldier with a flashlight. "There we go," he mumbled. "One less yucky diaper in the world." Oliver looked up at him with wide eyes, as if impressed by his dad's speed. James lifted him gently and whispered, "All done, champ. Let's not make another doo-doo in the next 10 minutes, okay?" Mia shuffled into the nursery, hair messy, wearing one sock and holding a mug of tea. "You're on fire this morning," she said. James nodded. "This is diaper number." "I've lost count." She smiled and took Oliver in her arms. "He's in a good mood. Let's take him out for some fresh air after breakfast." An hour later, they were sitting on a park bench under a tree, Oliver bundled up and babbling in his stroller. The air was crisp and birds were chirping in the distance. It felt peaceful until Oliver suddenly let out a loud squeal, kicked off his socks, and threw his toy on the ground. "Oopsie," Mia said, laughing. "Did we drop the binky again?" They both leaned down to search in the grass. James held it up like a lost treasure. "Here it is, crisis averted." Mia gently brushed it off and gave it back. "Okay, mister, no more launching binkies." James looked around at the other families in the park. One toddler was waddling by, yelling, "I made a potty," while his mother clapped proudly. James chuckled. "Remember when we used to say toilet? Now it's potty this, potty that." Mia nodded. "Yup, potty is our new favorite word. Welcome to the club." Potty is one of those words every English learner will come across if they spend any time around families or kids. It's a softer, more child-friendly way to say toilet. Parents say things like, "Do you need to go potty?" Or "Let's sit on the potty." It turns a normal bodily function into something easier for kids to talk about, and it's commonly used in everyday speech. They started walking through the park, pushing the stroller slowly. Oliver began to fuss a little, his usual pre-nap protest. Mia crouched down beside him and said in a sing-song voice, "Are you sleepy, little one? Is it time to go beddy-bye?" Beddy-bye again, soft, soothing, and so common that even grown-ups sometimes say it to each other as a joke. It's not just a baby word, it's a signal of comfort, of rest, of winding down. That's why these words are so powerful. They carry feelings, not just meanings. James added playfully, "Time to count sheep, little dude." Oliver yawned, rubbing his eyes with the back of his tiny hand. "Okay," Mia said softly, "let's head home. I think someone's ready for a nap." On the walk back, they talked quietly about all the new things Oliver was starting to do, trying to crawl, trying to mimic sounds, reacting to his name. "I swear he recognizes when I say jammies now," James said. "As soon as I say it, he knows bedtime is coming. That's because babies learn with patterns," Mia explained. "The more we repeat words, the more they stick. It's the same with learning any language, honestly," and she was right. Repetition, rhythm, and real emotion, that's what helps language come alive. Whether you're a baby or an adult learner, using and hearing language in daily life, especially playful, meaningful phrases, makes the words real. By the time they reached home, Oliver was fast asleep in his stroller. They carefully carried him inside, removed his little shoes, and laid him down gently. As they stood watching him, James whispered, "You know, I used to think baby talk was silly. But now, it's how we survive." Mia smiled, "And how he learns." In a quiet house, with sunlight drifting in through the curtains, the sounds of baby talk, soft, strange, funny little words had woven themselves into the rhythm of a new family. Not as nonsense, but as the language of love, learning, and connection. The evening was calm. A soft rain tapped against the windows, and the cozy glow of a dim lamp lit the living room where James and Mia were stretched out on the couch. Oliver was in his crib, finally asleep after his nightly bottle to diaper changes and one very dramatic case of the hiccups. James took a deep breath and leaned his head back. "I think we survived another day." Mia nodded, eyes closed. "Just barely, but we did." There was a peace in the quiet that didn't exist before Oliver was born. Not because things were easy, they weren't, but because the chaos now had purpose. The days were filled with silly words, warm bottles, unexpected messes, and tiny, unforgettable moments that somehow felt like life at its richest. "I was thinking today," James said softly, "we've learned a whole new vocabulary since he arrived. Not just words, but feelings behind them." Mia opened her eyes and looked over. "Like how boo-boo doesn't just mean a bump, it means comfort. Or how Baba means so much more than just a bottle. It means security, quiet, warmth. Exactly, James said, even words like hold still or oopsie daisy, we say them without thinking now. They're second nature, and that's the beauty of real English of any language, really. The words you use most often aren't always the ones from textbooks or grammar drills. They're the ones you say when you're half asleep at 3 a.m. holding a crying baby. The ones that make your voice softer, your tone kinder, the ones that help someone feel safe. I used to think English fluency meant big words and long sentences, Mia said. Now I think it means being able to say something small and have it mean something big. Words like wee-wee, duty, icky, jammies, binky, they're not formal, but they're powerful because they carry connection. And when English learners understand those words, they understand more than vocabulary. They understand people. Mia smiled. You know what's funny? Even though we're the ones teaching him to speak, he's teaching us to speak differently, too. James nodded slowly, simpler, more honestly, more from the heart. In the nursery, Oliver stirred in his sleep, letting out a tiny sigh as he rolled onto his side. They both stood up quietly and walked to the door of his room. Peeking in, they watched him breathe slowly, a small smile on his lips even in sleep. I could just eat him up, Mia whispered. James chuckled softly. Me too. Then they turned out the light and stood for a moment in the hallway, hand in hand. In this little world of doo-doos and Betty-Buys, where Din-Din replaces dinner and boo-boos matter more than emails, they had discovered a new language, a gentler one, a more meaningful one. A language where love is spoken in whispers, in giggles, and in goofy words that somehow carry everything that matters. Thank you for being a part of Best English Podcast Zone.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. Dinner.
Din din.
Bottle.
Baba.
Soother, pacifier. A thing you put in a baby's mouth for it to suck.
Binky.
A small injury, something that hurts.
Boo boo.
Toilet.
Potty.
Gross, disgusting.
Icky.
Awake.
Up.
An opportunity or responsibility to do something.
Your turn.
Little.
Whittle.
Solid waste discharged from body.
Doo doo.
A piece of cloth used as underwear that holds body waste.
Diaper.
Pajamas.
Jammies.
To urinate.
Tinkle.
Urine.
Wee wee.
Don't move.
Hold still.
Gross, disgusting.
Yucky.
Grandma.
Nana.
To enjoy something greatly.
I could just eat up.
Go to sleep.
Betty bye.
Oops, an informal interjection when a mistake is made. Let's try that faster. Soother, pacifier. A thing you put in a baby's mouth for it to suck.
Binky.
Gross, disgusting.
Yucky.
Don't move.
Hold still.
Awake.
Up.
A small injury, something that hurts.
Boo-boo.
Oops, an informal interjection when a mistake is made. Bottle.
Baba.
Little.
Whittle.
Solid waste discharged from body.
Doo-doo.
An opportunity or responsibility to do something.
Your turn.
Toilet.
Potty.
Gross, disgusting.
Icky.
To enjoy something greatly.
I could just eat. Up.
A piece of cloth used as underwear that holds body waste.
Diaper.
To urinate.
Tinkle.
Pajamas.
Jammies.
Urine.
Wee-wee.
Go to sleep.
Betty bye.
Dinner.
Din-din.
Grandma.
Nana.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Your turn.
Sweetheart, it's your turn to go check on the baby. Last time she cried, I got out of bed.
Your turn.
Is it your turn or my turn to change the baby's diaper?
Your turn.
Vanessa, I did the dishes yesterday. Now it's your turn.
Doo-doo.
Does the baby have a little doo-doo in her diaper?
Doo-doo.
Honey, please check to see if little Mikey made a doo-doo.
Doo-doo.
I can't believe he went doo-doo 3 times today.
Wee-wee.
Sarah always has to make a wee-wee after she drinks her bottle.
Wee-wee.
Is there any wee-wee in your diaper, baby?
Wee-wee.
Make sure you make a wee-wee before we leave to go to your grandma's house.
Icky.
Ew! Don't touch that! That's icky!
Icky.
Billy, don't sit on the ground. It's icky.
Icky.
Do not eat that gum off the floor. It's icky.
I could just eat. Up.
Carolyn is just so cute. I could eat her up.
I could just eat. Up.
Couldn't you just eat him up? He's so tiny.
I could just eat. Up.
I could eat you up. You look so adorable.